The children at school were terrified. Many parents no longer dared to let their kids walk to or from school. Alone, they insisted on picking them up themselves. Some schools even increased security, assigning teachers to patrol around the campus. But even with all these precautions, attacks by the slit-mouthed woman continued to occur. One day, a little girl was walking home from school when she encountered the slit-mouthed woman. When the woman asked her, "Am I beautiful?" and the girl, trembling with fear, stuttered her reply, the slit-mouthed woman became furious. She slashed open the girl's mouth with her scissors, then vanished into the darkness of the night. This tragic event plunged the entire town into grief and terror. People began organizing themselves, trying to find ways to defend against the slit-mouthed woman. Some claimed that she hated the smell of hairspray and that if you shouted "pomade" 3 times, the Japanese word pomadu means hair gel or hair oil, she would suddenly writhe in pain, giving you a chance to escape. Others said she loved tofu, and if you happened to carry some and offered it to her, she might spare your life. So people began carrying hairspray and tofu, hoping they might be useful if they ever came face to face with the terrifying woman. One silent night, a young man named A. Ming was walking alone down a quiet, narrow path. He was a skeptic, someone who never believed in ghost stories or urban legends. To him, the tale of the slit-mouthed woman was nothing more than a story told to scare children. But when he saw a woman wearing a mask standing ahead of him, holding a pair of scissors, a chill suddenly ran down his spine. The woman slowly walked toward him and asked in a soft, eerie voice, "Am I beautiful?" Ming took a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. He remembered the rumors about how to deal with her. So, gathering all his courage, he shouted 3 times, "Pomade! Pomade! Pomade!" Just as people had said, the slit-mouthed woman suddenly clutched her head in agony, letting out a painful scream. Ming didn't hesitate for a second. He turned and ran for his life, sprinting as fast as he could. He didn't dare look back. No one knows how long Ming ran, but at last, gasping for breath, he reached home. He collapsed into a chair, trembling yet grateful to still be alive. But the slit-mouthed woman did not disappear. She continued to wander through every corner of the small town, searching for her next victim. The townspeople lived under her. Shadow every night felt endlessly, long and filled with fear. On the other side of town lived a kind and gentle girl named Mei Hui, Rose. Unlike others, she didn't just feel fear when hearing the story of the slit-mouthed woman. She felt deep sympathy. Mei Hui believed that the woman must have suffered something unimaginably painful to become the monster she was now. Determined to help her find peace, Mei Hui began searching for clues. She gathered every bit of information she could about the slit-mouthed woman's whereabouts. After much investigation, she learned that the ghost was often seen near an abandoned factory on the outskirts of town. One night, Mei Hui decided to go there alone. The air inside the factory was thick with the stench of decay, and the darkness seemed to hide countless secrets. Every step she took echoed faintly through the empty halls, her heart pounding fast. Suddenly, she heard the soft sound of footsteps approaching. She turned around, and there she was, the slit-mouthed woman. The woman stopped, her eyes flickering with surprise. It seemed she hadn't expected anyone to seek her out. "Why aren't you afraid of me?" the slit-mouthed woman asked. Mei Hui looked into her sorrowful eyes and said softly, "Because I know you must be in great pain. I want to help you." The slit-mouthed woman was silent for a long moment. Then slowly she said, "No one can help me. It's too late for me to turn back." As she spoke, she raised her scissors and began to approach Mei Hui. But Mei Hui didn't move. She simply said in a calm, gentle voice, "I understand your pain. Please, let me listen to your story." The slit-mouthed woman froze. Her expression wavered, confusion and sorrow flashing through her eyes. After a long pause, she lowered the scissors. Her voice trembled as she began to speak. It turned out that, after she had become disfigured, the slit-mouthed woman once tried to return home. But when her family saw what she had become, her family, upon seeing her disfigured face, screamed in terror and fled from her in panic. Heartbroken and filled with despair, the slit-mouthed woman realized she no longer belonged anywhere. From that day on, she began to wander the world, using her pain to inflict fear and suffering upon others. After hearing her story, Mei Hui's eyes filled with tears. She stepped forward and gently embraced the slit-mouthed woman. "You're not alone," she whispered softly. "I'll stay with you. The slit-mouthed woman's body trembled. Her cold, lifeless heart seemed to feel warmth for the first time in years. From that day on, Mehui often visited her, bringing food, comfort, and kindness. Slowly, the slit-mouthed woman began to let go of her hatred. She stopped haunting people and no longer sought revenge on the innocent. However, the townsfolk knew nothing of this. They still lived in fear, believing the cursed spirit was lurking in the dark corners of the town. Each night, they prayed to be freed from the nightmare. Until one day, the town held a grand festival of purification. People gathered at the temple to pray for divine protection and to drive away the slit-mouthed woman once and for all. To everyone's shock, Mehui arrived at the ceremony, hand in hand with the slit-mouthed woman. Gasps and screams filled the temple. Fear spread like wildfire, but Mehui stood firm, gripping the woman's hand tightly. "She's not the monster you think she is," she said loudly. "She's just someone who's been hurt for too long." At first, no one dared to believe her. But as Mehui spoke and the slit-mouthed woman lowered her head in sorrow, the crowd gradually grew silent. They began to listen to her story, her suffering, and her regret. By the end, tears filled many eyes. The townspeople decided to forgive her and give her a chance to start anew. Overwhelmed with emotion, the slit-mouthed woman bowed deeply. "Thank you," she said. "I will never harm anyone again." From that day forward, she was never seen in the town again. Peace and calm slowly returned. The story of Mehui and the slit-mouthed woman became a beautiful legend, passed down through generations. But elsewhere, the legend of the slit-mouthed woman continued to spread. Her terrifying shadow still appeared from time to time, a chilling reminder of that dark past, and perhaps in some forgotten corner of the night, she still watches silently, waiting for the next soul brave enough to face her. Thus, the tale of the slit-mouthed woman became one of the most unforgettable urban legends in Japan's ghost lore, an eternal mark of fear, sorrow, and redemption.